What's happening, everybody? It is a special Wednesday night episode of Thrifty Business with JayAndNay. I'm your one host, Vegas Jay. Hello?
Yes, I'm filling in. I don't know where the other sound is coming from there.
Hello? Do I have a co-host?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on a special Wednesday night episode of Thrifty Business. And tonight, our guests are John and Amanda Giustiniani. Did I get it?
Excellent. Yeah.
Right. Wait a minute. I'm hearing everything twice here. All right.
Yeah, because you probably have two windows open. So we're going to ignore you for a minute while you figure it out.
Okay.
And let's get right to Tiki time because, again, I have really done well on pairing my rum and my Tiki drink, or my Tiki mug with our guest.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that was the saddest gong ever. All right, time for Jay's Tiki Talk. All right, so our guests run an estate sale company. That means they deal with a lot of old stuff. This is if you make a good Mai Tai, not a bullshit Carnival Cruise Mai Tai, but a good one, you'll probably need to use Demerara rum. It's a very specific type of rum. And Lemon Heart was the standard for the longest time. Then they went out of business. This is very old Lemon Heart, which I found at an estate sale. Yay for me. Yeah. So this is very good rum. I got it very cheap at an estate sale. And John grew up just outside of New York City, and I've used this mug before. It's one of my favorites. So this is from the Tiki Bar in New York City, Otto's Shrunken Head. And as I've said in the past, they've had 3 different color setups. Even the current one is worth money, but the 2 retired ones are worth a lot more money. So keep your eyes open for Otto's Shrunken Head. So welcome to the show, guys. We're going to chat with you in a little bit over a half hour here about all things estate sale. And I got a couple of horror stories that'll probably make you cringe. So hang tight, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Yes. And
all right, Nay, what are you drinking tonight?
I have a little juice and a little wine mixed together. So
nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. It sounds kind of bootleggy. I put a little juice in the wine.
It's my kid's apple juice. So it's not really.
Juice box and wine. There it is.
It's really not that exciting. Yes.
All right. That's funny.
Yeah.
Juice box wine. Here it is.
Pretty much.
All right, here we go. Time for Nay's breast cancer update and fact of the week.
Yeah, so I am going to talk a little bit about what's going on with me. I don't know what's going on with me. They're trying to figure out what's going on with me, actually. I have some symptoms, and I'm at a new oncologist, a new hospital. I was supposed to get some more blood work done today. I kind of didn't do that, so we will be rescheduling that. You know, I'm hanging in there. I just am really tired lately. So I wanted to talk about metastatic breast cancer, which is stage 4 breast cancer, which can be treated but not cured. I just want to remind everyone that there is no cure for cancer or breast cancer. That's why we need donations for research, and we need to get the word out on awareness, because a lot needs to be done. And someday, my hope, you know, even if I'm not here at that point, is for future generations to have a cure. So just a reminder that cancer, breast cancer, any kind of cancer, is not, there's no cure, but it's treatable. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's get right to it. Time for our scores of the week, where Nay and I share with you the cool stuff we sold. Usually it's all bolos. Be on the lookout, things that you should definitely be hunting for. And I think I have you up first, Nadine. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so this brand of shoes, it's called Donald J. Pliner, and they are couture shoes. They're made in the mountains of Italy. That's what they all say. Actually, I have a pair. I have a pair right here that and it says made in the mountains of Italy, and you can tell when they're real. This was a really beautiful pair. They had wooden wedges, leather heels. They were just gorgeous. I don't know why they sat for a while. They were size 11, but I had them up for, maybe I priced them a little bit high. But they were in really great condition. I took a best offer for $45 though, and I was happy with that. That was a good offer. So. And then this is a score because I got it at the bins, at the Goodwill bins. So I paid next to nothing for it. It was a genuine Kate Spade. It was authentic, absolutely authentic. It was just sitting there in the bins. It was in perfect condition. And I sold it for $24.99 plus $3 shipping, which basically paid for more than that entire Goodwill bin haul that day. So look for the gems in the bins. And this was another Goodwill bins gem.
Wow.
Yeah, now my advice here is look for old magazines that center around important events. Now this was from July 1985, right when the AIDS scare happened, and now this article was crazy. I read the article, and some of the things that they were saying would never fly today, but back then people were really afraid of AIDS, and that was the big topic. So this is when it first became a thing, and the big scare. So I sold this for $29.99 plus shipping, and that's high shipping on there. It was a heavy magazine though, but that's high shipping. I don't know why I guess because you're in Nevada or whatever. I don't know. It's reading $12.75, but that was not what the buyer paid. And this is an American Flyer. That's kind of an old school travel luggage brand. It had elephants on it. It was really cute. It was embroidered, and that bag sold for $49.99 with free shipping. But I was able to bubble it, and I wrapped it in a priority mailer, and 2 priority mailers actually, and it went off like that, and that cut down on the weight. So it only cost, I think it went to a local zone, it only cost about $6 to ship. So
nice.
Not bad. Mm-hmm.
All right. I bought this at a record store. If you're not looking at your local record stores for books, you are not listening to me at all. I listed it yesterday afternoon about 3 o'clock, and I sold this morning at 9 a.m. for $90, and I paid $21. And I'll probably share more of this in the Thrifting Board. So if you're not in my Facebook group, come join us. There was a lot to this, selling this for $90. A lot went into it because others were selling for a lot less. They were shorting themselves. I went for the gusto, and I got it immediately. Awesome. I've been finding these San Marcos blankets, which are all the rage. This is one of them. I paid $10 for it, and I sold it for $95. So Keep your eyes peeled for San Marcos blankets with the big animals on it. Another book, we talked about this. This was again, record store purchase, $1.99. And I sold it within like 4 days of listing it on Amazon for $49.99. Oh, this is one I listed on the 8 app last week on our show. I remember that. Yeah. It's sold because of it being in a video on the 8 app. So if you're not using the 8 app or don't know what we're talking about, go watch last week's episode. It was awesome. And CDs, I don't know how many times I told you about CDs, but this is Pink Cadillac by John Prine, been out of print forever. And I sold it for $74.99. I was the only one that had a like new condition one. As you can see, 6 used from 4083. Those were all in good and acceptable condition. And it was only listed for a couple months. So a quick $75.
Wow, you really beat me on the scores this week.
You've seen our scores. Now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. This is a mistake you should always pay attention for, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Jason knows the story. Speaking of mistakes, this beautiful Napoli, which is Naples Italian handmade pottery terracotta clay egg dish, which was signed, should have been listed for $30, not $3. So I missed a zero there. And of course, someone bought it right away. And they paid just what it cost to ship. I did pay $3 for the dish, so I basically just lost $3, not 30, but I could have gotten 30 for it. And the lesson is, this is the first time this has happened to me in all these years, actually, where I've mispriced something and it's sold. So definitely check your zeros and watch your prices, because this person got a great deal. I honored the sale because that's the right thing to do, and they gave me good feedback today. But yeah, they basically
well, at least they didn't leave you negative.
yeah, so basically and it was I had a packet to ship. It was extra, so basically I lost $3, but lesson learned. And then these are a dud because I've had them listed for so long. These are kind of stripper shoes, and they were a larger size, and they fit me, so larger size. But they're just a mistake.
Are these Jessica Alba shoes?
No, they're just Alba. They're not just
really. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I am really sorry that I purchased these, because I finally sold them, and I was really excited. I got a best offer yesterday for $26. Took it immediately. I was like, yeah, they're out the door. And then the person messaged me and said, I was trying to watch these, not make an offer. Can you cancel the sale,
I was
please?
trying to watch these, not make an offer of 26.00.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so what can you do? You can't, you have to cancel the sale at that point, because you can't force somebody to buy something. So I was just like,
yeah, just list it higher.
So I was like, okay. So I canceled the sale, and they're still in circulation. So.
All right, this is one of my duds. It is a North River Outfitters camouflage deer shirt. Now I got 25 for it. 25 is not bad price for a shirt, albeit it was long sleeve. And you might think, hey Jay, why is this a dud? Well, this is a dud because this was from episode 3 of Thrift Hunters season 1. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this has been in my store since 2014. So it took 3 years to sell. And when someone offered me $25, like Nadine said, I jumped on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably made a couple bucks, but man, it took far too long.
It's an ugly shirt, actually. So
well, if you're a hunter, it's not an ugly shirt.
Well, you know me, I'm not a hunter.
This came in a collection, and Poison CDs just don't command a big amount of money, but it came in a collection. I only paid probably on average $2 a CD. Why I threw in the duds was I looked at my picture after the fact. The glare off of the cellophane is horrible, and that's a shitty picture. So don't do that. That is my tip. Even though it sold and I made a couple bucks, that was fine. That's a horrible picture. I will do better in the future. All right, you've seen our scores. You've seen our duds. Now it's time for Close Encounters of the Thrifty Kind.
You and that echo. So I had a great thrifty encounter yesterday. I was scoping my friend Lola, who you all know. She's my thrifting buddy now. Lola and I are tight now. We're thrifting buddies. So we were Lola and I were scoping out stores yesterday. I brought her along to scope out stores for our Jay and I. We're going to be doing a class in April. So I brought her along to a few stores to scope out potentials for the class. And lo and behold, we found Debbie, who attended the last thrifting class. Yeah, she attended my last thrifting class. We're in the linen section, and she says, hey, Lola and Nadine. Hey. And we turn around, and there's Debbie, who attended my last thrifting class. So what do you know? And she was just shopping there. So we chatted with Debbie for a little bit, and that was just really awesome. It's a small world. And and she did not recommend that store, by the way. So.
All right, my thrifty encounters from my all-time favorite thrift store. And what is that, Nadine?
That would be Savers.
No, but more specifically, which one?
Tropicana.
No.
Really?
Come on.
I thought Tropicana, isn't that the one okay, well.
All right, chat, where's my favorite Savers? What do I call it?
Oh, boy.
Since my partner doesn't.
Crazy Town.
Yes.
All right.
Crazy Town. So, I was with actually a few surfers from the Thrifting Board who were in town for a visit. We went to Crazy Town because I love Crazy Town because crazy shit always happens. Hey, the chat knew Crazy Town.
I knew it. It just took me a minute.
And so we were chatting, me and the people I was with. Orange Hair here thought she was just going to be part of the conversation. So she joined in like she had been with us all day. Now that isn't the thrifty counterpart. Why we got to this point, I have no idea. But somehow the question came out of my mouth. Oh, where are you from? I'm not even sure why I said it. And she said, Ohio. And I went, no way. So am I. And she goes, oh, from the Cleveland area. I'm like, no way. So am I. And she goes, oh, I grew up in Elyria. That's where my wife, Stacy, grew up. And that's where we lived for the first 5 years of our marriage. So very small world.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Town always has fun little stories like that. All right, now it's time for our Thrifty Tips of the Week. And our Thrifty Tip segment is brought to you by Stamps.com, postage on demand. Stamps.com's online postage service enables small businesses like me and Nadine and you, enterprises and online retailers to print U.S. Postal Service approved postage with just a computer, printer, and internet connection right from your home. And I use Stamps every day. It's a great, great product. I love it. All right, you are up first on your Thrifty Tip.
Okay, I'm so excited about this tip, Jason, because it's a pop culture tip that I'm giving.
Get out.
You're gonna like, but it's a nerdy one. So if you're like me and you're an avid reader and you like to read, I read a lot of books. I love books. So pay attention to the books that you've read in the past, or any books that are going to be turned into a movie soon. So I read this book, The Shack, a few years back, actually, and I noticed recently that it's going to be it's going to be a movie very soon, and it's going to be in the theaters. So I found this audiobook version of The Shack at my local thrift store for $1.99, and it was sealed, and I scooped it up right away because I know that a lot of readers like myself are short on time, and people that are avid book readers, when a movie comes out, you want to read the book before the movie. So the easiest way to read the book is to listen to the audiobook. So that's a quick shortcut there. So a lot of people are going to be going for the audiobooks, and they'll go for more than the actual paperback or hardcover book will go for. So look for the audiobooks before a movie comes out.
That is an awesome tip. Now, my tip is kind of a what not to do. If you're in the Thrifting Board, you saw me post this picture earlier. This is a Goodwill near my house, and the line, yes, goes from the front of the store all the way back to the back. I'm standing against the back wall. These ladies sitting on the couch are in line. It is senior day. Whoops, I forgot. So do not go to senior day in the morning because you will deal with lines like this. So unless I found the Holy Grail of tiki mugs, I was out of there, and I did not find it. But I will tell you this. I found something cool, Nay, from a TV show.
What was that?
I ain't going to tell you yet because I want no one to run over there and get it because I'm going to go pick it up tomorrow morning.
Okay. Did you hide it?
I did find something cool. Not cool enough to wait in a line of 32 people, but cool enough that I'll just leave it there. No one's going to buy it tonight. It'll be there tomorrow. I am sure of that. So
did you hide it, Jason?
I didn't really. I just left it where it was, but I'll explain it all later. But where it is very crowded. So I'm like, I'll be fine. I bet you I find it in the morning. All right, now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me, where Nay and I show you what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. This segment is brought to you by Bubble Fast, a family-owned business providing quality shipping supplies to the online community since 1999. Bubble Fast, the internet's home for shipping supplies. And if you use our code JayAndNay, if you see it on the screen right there, or actually right there, you get 10% off your entire order. If you watched a couple episodes ago, I cheated on Bubble Fast and bought cheaper bubble wrap elsewhere. I'm paying the price for it now. Just buy from Bubble Fast. They're a great company, and they have quality products. That's just a little bonus plug for them because I truly believe it, and I feel bad.
Okay, so my tip actually is, this comes from my good friend Margaret Collier again. She sent me a surprise this week. And it just really cheered me up. Again, I've been having kind of a icky week. And so she sent me this beautiful bracelet that I'm wearing. You can see it. It's a giraffe bracelet, and you can see it in the picture.
Hang on. Okay. I didn't realize that would show you.
Sorry. Well, I kind of threw it.
Okay, there you go. Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome? And it fits
Very
me
cool.
perfectly. It's giraffes, that's right up my alley. So the picture here, she sent it to me in a box, in just a little tiny box, and it was filled with cherry orange tissue paper, which was fun. And she put it in this little jewelry pouch here. It's a little velvet bag. Now I know she sells a lot of jewelry, so she would probably have these to use for her jewelry sales. But what a fun presentation. And it really didn't need any bubble wrap or anything. Just the tissue and this velvet pouch was enough to protect it in shipping. And it was really a great presentation, to where when I opened it, I smiled before I even opened the bracelet, because it was such a cute, fun presentation. So kudos to Margaret, and thank you for the awesome bracelet.
Awesome sauce. All right, now you may think, hey, Jay, we've already done your scores of the week. No, my score of the week was also my shipping what not to do of the week. I'm good. I'm good at what I do. I know what I'm doing. I listed this book while sitting in this chair with my scale right here and just guessed at the weight. And guess what, Nadine? I was way wrong.
Oh, no. What happened?
So I charged $29.95 for shipping, because I thought it would be 3 pounds with the box. So today when I went to ship it, if it would have been 2 pounds, 15 ounces, so just under 3 pounds, it would have been $29.51. Guess what, Nadine? It was 3 pounds, 15 ounces. So I paid $42.33. So I basically threw away $13. So
wow.
Even when you're you make mistakes. So because books can be deceiving, especially when you're doing a lot of them. It was a little bit taller and thicker, and so it felt like 3 pounds. Nope, it was really 4. So really pay attention to what you're doing. That is my mistake. Don't make it. I basically just threw $13 away today.
Wow.
All right, now it's time for our viewers' 2-minute topic of the week. This week, our question is brought to us by Kevin Witt. Thank you, Kevin. Since you both live in big cities, would you go into a retail store like Macy's and go through their clearance rack and source there too? Or do you just stick with your thrift stores and all the places you normally source at? And our 2-minute topic of the week is brought to you by Free Up Commerce, the hands-on hiring platform for pre-vetted e-commerce workers. Free Up with 3 E's is the hands-on solution to hire remote e-commerce workers. Free Up vets hundreds of workers a week, so you get access to the top 1% of online talent whenever you need them. Sign up is free, no monthly fees, no minimum hours. Get the workers you need when you need them, and only pay for the hours they work. Brenda, a loyal viewer of the show, heard Nate when he was on a couple episodes ago, is now on her way to building a remote empire with her team of Free Up workers. Go to freeup.com with 3 E's to start to free up your time and scale your business. All right, and I'm trying something new this time. I have an online thing, so I have to keep switching things around. Okay. So you go first. Are you ready? Nope.
Okay, so online. Whoa. Okay, so retail arbitrage is not really my my forte. It's not really my passion. I love thrifting. I love thrift stores. So that's basically where I go. But I will never pass up an opportunity to find a good deal. So yes, and I have some retail arbitrage friends who have kind of helped me out with some tips and whatnot. So if I'm at a store that has a good clearance, I will absolutely buy some clearance items and flip them. Mostly though, I do stick to my thrift stores, but there's so many, the thing about living in a big city is that there's so many options and so many opportunities. There's so many different types of stores. There's that warehouse / thrift / kind of Nordstrom rack store that I talked about that I go to. There's some consignment shops that, even though they're very pricey, they have great clearance racks, so I go to those. So I go to a variety of stores.
Boom, going hard you were.
I was.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I will not go to them specifically to look in their clearance section. I will not do some real retail arbitrage. But if I'm there, I will absolutely go through every clearance section, whether it be Macy's or Kmart, or there's a little clearance rack at the end of the one row in my local grocery store that we shop at almost every day. And I've taught my wife, well, she goes through it. We look for groceries that we normally buy to eat, but some non-grocery items end up there, and we scan everything to see if it is a hot commodity, then we buy it. Plus, I will go to, if I'm running errands and I'm next to a Ross or a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls, I will absolutely stick my head in and give it a once around. I know what to look for a little bit in clothing and purses and a little bit in shoes and socks. So I will definitely check them out, but I don't go normally. I don't leave the house to go to them, but if I am near them, I will absolutely stick my head in and add it to my repertoire. Plus, I'm a shopper. I always find goodies for myself when I'm in Marshalls and TJ Maxx and the like.
Good job.
All right, and then every month we have a rotating, or every week we have a rotating segment that shows up once a month, and this week is the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we all know ugly sells, and if you don't know that, start finding the ugliest thing in your thrift store, because that is what's worth the most money. All right, now you go first.
All right, so when I was on the thrifting, the thrift store search with Lola yesterday, I bought my ugly item, and it is this. I will model it for you guys. It's so big on me, but it is this gorgeous metallic shirt. Yes, it's got a geometric pattern. It's very 80s. The tag is straight up 80s. It's not a brand it's not going to sell on brand. The brand is Lori of California, but it's made in USA of imported fabric. So it's definitely 80s. I can tell by the tag. And the thing is, metallics are actually making a comeback right now on the runway. So metallics are in, and I know this thing is hideously ugly, and it's got shoulder pads right from the 80s, but it's gonna sell. And the bonus is too, it's a larger size. It's like an extra large, so it should do very well. So there's my ugly item.
It is ugly, but I have you conquered tonight.
Oh no, really?
I too have a clothing item that when you see it, you're going to bow down and go, you win.
All right, we'll see.
1970s, pretty much like a disco type shirt. Polyester, made in Korea. Bam. It is the highlights of Washington, D.C. and New York City in a long sleeve shirt.
So the funny thing is, when I was, oh my gosh, this is funny, Jason. When I was a kid, my parents had one of those little Scotty trailers before they had the RVs, and we used to go camping in it. And they had pillows that I swear were made out of that same fabric in that little trailer.
And let me tell you, Nate, you could pour water on this, and you would never feel the water on the inside. That's how. And look at that. Is that badass or what?
It's so ugly. It's hip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm listening that shirt for a lot, because that shirt is absolutely amazing. I like the whole thing, but yeah, that was.
Yeah, I guess you tossed me there.
Yeah. All right, our last segment of the day. Oh,
What's that?
My button is missing for our little. All right, we'll go with that tonight. My button for the rim shot's missing. It's actually missing from the app. Really? JayAndNay's mini thrift hauls, where we give you a little tease of our next thrift haul, which will be on Monday, right? Are we doing it Monday?
We're doing it Monday. I don't know what time, but yes.
So we tease you a little bit, show you a little tease, and then tune in Monday to find out more. Let me go first here.
Okay.
And where the hell did I go? Oh, my first tease is I need help. So tune in Monday.
Oh.
I saw this. Aloha Hawaii.
Wow.
I saw this made in Japan. So
Vintage,
far, so good.
Yeah.
I can't get it to focus.
We see this. Yeah.
And then I see this flower and a signature. So I'm like, I don't even care. I'm buying it. I can't figure out what that says. So I'll show you more on Monday. See if you guys can help me figure it out. And I'm going to keep the tag over the thrift store tag or the regular tag. This brand of clothing. And mom, don't ruin it in the chat, Mom. You wear this. Don't ruin it, Mom. This brand of clothing always sells. It is not.
I know what it is.
Rich, but this is like a bread and butter item. I paid $3.50, and it'll sell for like 22 to $25. So tune in to find out what brand that is, and you should always buy it.
Okay, so Jason, you know about this, so you can't spoil it. So I actually found a cool tiki mug while I was out on my travels with Lola yesterday.
It's a real cool tiki mug, actually.
Yeah, now it does have a flaw in it. There's a chip in it. I'll show you.
That's a hell of a chip.
But it's still okay. It's still worth something, and I'll tell you why it's worth something, and I will tell you where it's from. when we have our haul. And it is an Otagari. It says imported. But this is just a badass tiki mug, and I was so excited when I found I was FaceTiming Jason, and then after I found it, I FaceTimed you right back, and I was like, look, this is so good find, right, Jason?
Yep.
Okay, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we have our actual haul. And then this purse was up in the bins, so I paid virtually nothing for it. But it's very vintage.
Ooh,
you can
sparkly.
Yeah, you can tell by the satin lining inside and the beading. It's very heavy. And I'm going to tell you what brand it is and a little bit more about it. It's a little flawed. It has a little staining inside. It's missing a couple beads here and there, but it'll still sell very well. And I'm going to tell you about this brand and why it's going to sell well.
All right, cool. Let's do a little housekeeping. Then we'll get our guests in here. Nadine and I are the yin and yang of the thrifting world.
Yes, we
I
are.
can conquer half the store. She can conquer the other half. So we are having a thrifting class, 2 thrifting classes in the New Jersey, Philadelphia, Delaware, New York City, Connecticut. And since we're having people come up from North Carolina,
East Coast.
Yeah. And they are Monday, April 10th in the Northern Philly burbs and Wednesday, April 12th in the Middle Philly burbs to the New Jersey side.
Yeah. I'm scoping out thrift stores for that.
Both classes are half sold out already. Excuse me. They were half sold out right away. So get your spots. I know a lot of people are trying to arrange things and this and that. And hey, someone said, hey, can you come do a class in Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh ain't that far. We got people coming from North Carolina. Invest in yourself and your business and come on down, spend the night, then spend the day with us. We will conquer all the guy sections with me and a couple of the girl sections like bras, and then all the girly sections and the kids sections with Nadine.
And the crafts, the yarn, all that, yeah.
And the best part about doing a class with both of us, when one of us is taking you through a section, the other one is on to the next section, prepping it, going through it and find all the good stuff, the bad stuff. And so it's an amazing class. Now, we each can teach really good classes on our own, but when you get both of us, that is the best class you'll ever take because we can move ahead and keep the class really just cooking right along. So.
Yep, you'll get the whole story. You'll get everything. It is thrifting nirvana, and we are the yin and yang of thrifting for sure.
And then if you're in the Southern California area this weekend, this Saturday, I am vending at an awesome tiki event in Ventura, which is north of LA, north of Malibu. It's called the Tiki Takeover of the Ventura Beach Club. There are great bands playing. There's a hot rod show. There is tiki carvers. There's all kinds of vendors and food trucks and everything else. And it's only $10. Trust me when I tell you, because I would not lead you astray. Like I would just say, come see me if the band stunk. But these bands are awesome. Tiki Aki is incredible. And the Glasgow Tiki Shakers are one of my favorite tiki bands. They're tiki surf music. It is great. So if you get 6 bands for $10, that'd be good enough. You get everything else too. So come up and see me in Ventura. If you are watching this show or from the Thrifting Board or from the Secret Beach, make sure you come up and say, hey, Jay, I'm so-and-so, and I saw you guys on Thrifty Business.
And not only do you get Jason, but you get his adorable wife, Stacy, as well.
And tons of rum. Woo!
So it'll be fun, yes.
All right, let's get our guests in here. Our guests of the week are here. It is Amanda and John Giustiniani. Oh, man, I had it right, and then I blew it,
Giustiniani.
Giustiniani. And why can I not turn off their or turn on their cameras? Oh, Google Hangouts, YouTube, you have failed me yet again.
I wonder if they need to jump out and come back in.
Hey, Amanda and John, do me a favor. Close out and hop back in real quick, would you? For some unknown reason, I cannot turn you off. I don't know why. Or, I mean, turn you on. Turn you on.
Oh, boy. I knew there was a joke coming there.
Oh, yeah. I set my own self up for the punchline.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to.
Did.
I really didn't. But
Jason.
I if you don't know, I have controls to turn off everyone's camera and everyone's mic, including myself. And it would, hey, there they are. It wouldn't let me turn them back on. Hey, guys, what's happening?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
We are
Good.
Great. Thank you for being on the show tonight. I see Amanda rocking the T-shirt of the company. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you both are. You're just leaning down a little bit there. So,
We're cool.
Ben and John, you are married, correct? It's a legal binding marriage, yes? Okay, just checking.
Yes.
Yes. We live together. We work together. We eat together. We sleep together. We are always together.
We are. And it's
and
good.
you run an estate sale company. Now, look, you're on for one reason and one reason only. Not because I love you, because I do. But our viewers have been saying, hey, we want to see someone who runs estate sales. So I put the word out, and you guys were quick to say, hey, that's us. We'll come talk to you. So thank you for that. And hey, that just shows if you want to talk about a subject on Thrifty Business with JayAndNay, hear from an expert, just shout it out. We'll go find that expert. And tonight we found them. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, John and Amanda. So tell us, let's, before we get to the estate sale company, tell us a little bit about you guys. Where do you live? How'd you get together? Whatever you want to share.
Sure. Amanda, you tell the story about how we got together.
That's funny. So we live in North Carolina, and between us, we are a blended family. We have 5 children, and Dad and I actually met on Match.com. It's kind of funny. My mom was actually sick at the time, and she was really worried about being online. She was like, Amanda, what if those guys are lying to you? And I said, can I promise you, every boy I've met at the bar is lying to me, so it's all good. Yeah, so John, that's how we met, and yeah, it's been pretty awesome since.
Yeah, this year will be 9 years.
Oh, young love. I love it. Young love.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you found each other online. That's pretty cool. You know, it's funny because I know a lot of people that have, and Stacey and I have been together so long that just didn't even exist when we got together. She was drunk in my dad's bar, and that's her excuse.
I met my husband on lavalife.com, which I don't know if that exists now.
So
I didn't realize that. So you
Yeah.
were using yeah,
Yep,
back in 1990, that didn't exist.
Yeah,
when I met Stacey,
and it was late 2005. It was 2005, so it was still kind of like iffy, you know. So people, when I was still kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to say that, you know. But yeah, we met online.
All right, so you fell in love. Now, were you guys, when you fell in love, were you doing this yet, running estate sales, or was this a new venture for you?
Well, I was working at a technology company and selling on eBay since, gosh, I don't know, 2000 or so. And Amanda's a third-generation auctioneer. So her granddaddy was a tobacco auctioneer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the story. She tells it much better because it's her life.
So yeah, my grandfather was a tobacco auctioneer. He did estate sales in the winter. And then my dad actually ran a full-time auction house for about 7.5 years. So in 1999, I believe, I got my auctioneer's license. So myself, my brother, my dad were all auctioneers. Been around the estate world for a really, really long time. So John and I, once we got married, we opened a vintage store where we did mostly 50s, 60s kind of stuff. And we couldn't fulfill the need of calls that we were getting for, hey, my mom passed, will you come buy my stuff? Hey, my mom passed, can you sell our stuff? So we started doing estate sales here and there. I had done them sporadically before I met John, even not at the auction house. And it just kind of evolved into this thing. So it's a great need.
So we couldn't buy all the estates that people wanted us to buy. So when we did the first estate sale we did at our store, we did so well, we made more money than the store made in a month. And we're like, maybe this sitting around a store is not the best thing. Because that was a rough business. I mean,
yeah, there's a great tiki bar in Milwaukee that used to be a punk rock skater bar, and they had Tiki Tuesdays. And after about a year, the owner looked at his books and went, oh my God, I make so much more money on Tuesdays. Screw it. I'm going to make it a tiki bar. And now he makes a lot more money than he did as a skater bar. So yeah, I totally get that. Like when you have that revelation, you're like, what are we doing? What do we do? We should be doing this other thing. Yeah. So before we go on more in the estate sale, do you have the auctioneer voice? Can you do that? Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that.
So it's so funny. John's only heard me call twice?
Twice.
In the 9 years. Because when you grow up in an auction family, I laugh and say it's a lot like Michael Jordan's daughter trying to play basketball. She can play, but she's never going to be as him. So I just don't, My style's completely different. I'm a lot slower. My brother, it just like, it comes out brilliantly. So awesome.
So wait,
When
you
Amanda and I
too,
first,
huh?
Yeah.
when Amanda and I first started dating, one of our first dates was she took me to her brother auctioning off goats. So here's this, the guy
Goats.
that New York City, and it was selling goats, and I was like, wow, I wanted to buy a goat. I almost bought a goat because I was so excited.
Oh my goodness.
So
What would you have done with that goat?
I don't know. I hear they're good for mowing the grass.
They are.
Eating.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So we've been doing estate sales full time for close to 6 years now. And we do probably around 50 a year.
That's that. When you told me that the other day, I thought that's crazy because
Yeah.
the companies here will do like one every month or so. You guys do one almost every week.
Yeah, we do one almost every week, and then so like if we're tired, like we're tired right now, we're going on week 5, I think. Of
Right.
the last 2, we're just super involved, really hard. And now I'm like, dude, we need a weekend off, but it's like 4 weeks from now before we'll get a week off. And when you go back to back, you're doing sales Saturday and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you turn around and start the next one on Monday. So there's not even a day off. But it's all good. We get to do it together. So we couldn't function that way if we didn't do this job together.
So your name is GC5 Estate Services. Where did you come up with that name? Can you tell us?
Well, the G is Giustiniani.
Okay.
So between us we have 5 children. So I've got Benjamin, Grace, and Matthew, and Amanda's got Lonnie and Jacob. Their last name is Cash. So G for Giustiniani, C for Cash, and 5 children made GC5. We thought of it on the way to the way to the attorney's office. We're like, GC5, and then I found out there's a punk rock band called GC5 out of California somewhere. And that's us,
All right. So I think the question everyone wants to know is, how do you do it? So, I'm sure right now we got like 209 live viewers, and we have, we'll have a few thousand that watched after the fact. Love you guys too. How do you say I need your services? Say a relative passes away and I don't want to deal with all their shit. How would I find you, and how do I know you're good and not a schmuck like some of these other ones that I'll talk about in a second?
Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can find a company. And that could be finding a company to service you as a client, or finding a company to shop at. There are 2 predominant websites you can use. One of them is estatesales.net.
I use that.
The other one is sales.org. So different parts of the country, some use estatesales.org a lot more than .net. It just kind of depends. So you'll find more listings. So check in your area to see where the most listings are, and just look at those companies and see how many sales they have. If they have one every 6 months, you might want to find someone that's busier. The busy sales have the following. The busy sales have a streamlined production of getting it set up. Busy sales, there's so many reasons to hire a working company. We suggest to all of our clients, because there's probably in the Raleigh area 12 or 14 companies that they actually go to sales. Because we all do it different. It doesn't make one right and one wrong, but they are different. So we encourage our clients to go to a sale, see how people set it up, see how the checkout process is, see how the line at the beginning works, because we all do it differently. And just really research it. There's a lot of room for shadiness in this world that we play in, and it really hurts, at least my heart, to hear families that were taken advantage of. So, ask for references. I tell clients all the time when we meet with them, it's a lot like a marriage. When we meet with you the first time, if you don't get along with us there, it only gets more emotional for the client as the process goes on. So it's not going to get easier.
And it's not just when somebody passes away. So a lot of times people are downsizing, they're moving into assisted living.
Yeah, our clients this week, they moved to assisted living together. So their son is putting the house on the market so they can sell the house so they can afford to stay in assisted living together. Every industry that serviced the baby boomers so far, it has grown. So the toy industry grew. As they aged to college age, there wasn't enough colleges and universities. Just everything. They're an economic driver, and we are right in the baby boomers right now.
And we definitely subscribe to the fact that these people, whether they're moving or they're deceased and we're helping their family or whatever they're doing, these people worked really hard. Now, whether they went to an auction and raised their arm and bought it, or they bought it at Goodwill, or they bought it at a furniture store, these people bought these things. Everything that's in the house, they worked hard for. So it's our job to display it respectfully. We put everything on tablecloths with risers. We shine lights on them.
I wash almost every piece of glass in every house that we work in.
Yeah, I can't stand when I'm at a thrift estate sale and I go to pick up something and it sticks to my hand. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And we still haven't figured out what that, China cabinet slime is. It's like it's a vinegar.
China cabinet slime.
I don't know what that is.
So I am friends with Carrie Kusky. She did the show Cash and Carry. Have you seen it? Do you know it?
Yeah.
And I've never asked her this question, but I think it's just for the show. But the way if you don't know, she had a show. Those of you watching don't know, she had a show about running estate sales, and she would actually kind of look around and tell the client, "Okay, I think we can do 2,000 for the weekend." Do you guys do anything like that? Do you give them
We try not to.
Like, no way.
If we give people a range, if we say, "Hey, your sale will be between $10,000 and $15,000 in the weekend," they'll remember 15.
They never remember the 10. So
Right.
then if you get them 12, they're disappointed.
Right.
So we just stopped giving numbers. There's so many variables there that can affect the outcome, be it, the number of sales that are going on that weekend, the weather. There's so many things that we don't have control over. So we just don't give them a number. And for the most part, they're okay with that. They're like, okay, we understand.
They're always very surprised when we tell them what the sale did. So we have a software system that will tell us, they could call us an hour into the sale and say, "Hey, how much have we done?" And we could tell them to the penny what they've done. So we call them Friday night, and Amanda says, "So what did you think the sale would do for the weekend?" And they'll say, "Oh, I don't know, $2,000." And then we tell them what they've done, and sometimes it's $8,000 or $10,000, and they're like, "What?" Great. So they're always very happy with the outcome. A lot of times people are very concerned about individual items, like, "Oh, this chair, it's really a special chair. It should be $1,000." And really, the money from an estate sale comes from the transactional over and over and over again. $20, $10, $15, $30, over and over and over again. And that's, I think, where an estate sale makes the most money for the family. I know a lot of your audience is people that are thrifting, so they're buying. We have two different jobs as estate liquidators. Friday, our job is to make us and the family as much money as we possibly can. Saturday, it's a lot of the same, but we'll let things go a little cheaper. But Sunday, our job is to get rid of as many items as we can. And I think we'll talk about that later in the Secret Beach. But it's two different jobs. They need the house empty to sell it, but they also want to make as much money as they can. The items in the home are sometimes holding the home hostage. So they can't sell the $400,000 home because it's filled with 50 years worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So our job is to get rid of that stuff. Go ahead.
I'll say, so, and I had teased this, so I definitely want to mention it, but there's some, for the most part, every estate sale company in this town's an asshole. Everyone. The one good one, we filmed with a really nice one on Thrift Hunters, and the bummer is they packed up shop and went to Texas. And I even, by pure odd luck, I ended up at their last one. I didn't realize it was them. I saw a estate sale. It had the stuff I liked. I went, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Jay," and I hadn't seen him in a while. They're like, "Oh, hey," like, "Oh, we're leaving." I'm like, "Oh." So there's this one lady in town, and I'm only not naming names because I can't remember which one she is. So because you know me, I'd name names. I don't give a shit. You're gonna be a jerk. I'm gonna tell you. So here's how she's an asshole to me and to Nadine, the people who are coming in to shop. So one time we end up at her sale on day 2. I go upstairs in the bedroom. The bed's gone. Imagine if you owned a pet bird who liked to chew on his food and then throw it on the ground. You could see the outline of where the bed was because of the bird feed. It was a nasty house. They didn't even bother to clean up. And for some odd reason, where the bed used to be, for some odd reason, was a tiki mug sitting by itself in the middle of the bedroom where you could see where the bed used to be, like it was like waiting for me to show up. So I grabbed this mug, of course, and it wasn't like an amazing mug, but it was a tiki mug. And I grabbed it. And they had an entire collection of thousands of records in the storage shed out back. So I dug through and I grabbed out 82. And they were, I grabbed out 87. They were $1 a piece. So there was $87 plus this mug. I bring it to the front and I go, "I'll tell you what, $80 for everything?" And she goes, "Well, no. Here's what she said. Here are the words she said to me. No, I like that mug, so I'm gonna price it so high you don't buy it."
What?
Ooh.
Wow.
And I looked at her and I went, "Are you crazy? It's day 2 of the sale you're throwing, and it was sitting in the middle of a dirty room. Are you kidding me right now?" And she goes, "Yeah, so it'll be $95. I go, "It's going to be $80. She goes, "No, it's going to be $95. I go, "It's going to be $80, or you're putting these 87 records and this tiki mug back." So she finally relented and gave me a little grief. I spent the $80 and I left. I'm like, I'm done with her sales. I end up in line at one of her other ones by accident, forget it's her. I'm upstairs. I know how she is now. The sign on the closet says men's shirts $3 to $5. I find Robert Graham. I find Tommy Bahama. I find Landon Shark. I find all these great high-end brands. I grab them all. I take a picture of her sign because I know what she's going to do. And I go downstairs. I get in line, and she goes, "Oh, I didn't realize there was Tommy Bahama and Robert Graham. Those are not $3 to $5. I said, "This is your job. I don't give a shit if you knew or not. Here's the picture of the sign." And there's a lot of people. I'm calling her out. I go, "I will pay you the high end. I'll give you $5 for all these shirts." So I had like 12 shirts. I gave her $60. I just slapped in her hand and I walked out. And I will never go to her sale again. But here's what I found out. This is what I want to talk to you guys about. She writes the contract that says she gets it all, what doesn't sell. So she prices it high. And then she does this bullshit dance with all of us.
Yeah,
and then she keeps it. And I feel horrible for families who fall for this bullshit. And I know you guys wouldn't do that.
No, we at the end, they have 3 options. One is they handle it, which is the least popular option. Nobody wants to handle it. They've made more money than they thought they'd make. And so nobody chooses that. Second is we give them a list of places they could donate it to. But we find that the donation companies come in, they're like, "Oh, today we're only taking green couches." And then they've got like all 5 or 6 donation companies in order to get rid of their stuff. And then the last one is we offer, there's a guy we have come in and he cleans out the house.
Okay.
They pay a fee, and we discuss the fee ahead of time. So the sale ends at 3 o'clock on Sunday. At 4 o'clock, this guy shows up, and by 9 o'clock that evening, the house is empty.
He removes everything.
He removes everything. So hangers in the closets, trash bags, broken stuff. He empties the house, and then a cleaning service comes in. They clean the house, and then the house either closes because it's been sold or goes on the market. So we don't own anything. And we stress to our clients that this stuff's not ours. This is your stuff, or it's your mom's stuff or your grandma's stuff, whoever. It's never our stuff. So that, that's kind of a sad story, Jason. But I think it's common.
There are companies that do that. I mean, they have a consignment store that it'll go to, or they have an auction house that it'll go to. Do that. We short and sweet is what we want.
So we finish the sale on Sunday. So 9 o'clock that Sunday night, the house is empty. Monday, we start in the next house.
Jeez.
So we don't have time.
You guys
to
ever put your
met-
feet up, take a nap? Nothing.
Sometimes.
Well, Amanda says when it's relaxing time, that's when I'm like, hey, let me list this item on eBay.
This one never slows down. So, I mean, we'll work, 12 hours in a house, digging in the attics and that kind of stuff. And then he comes home and he calls it listing on his underpants. And he sits and he just lists.
Oh, I know.
And it's like it's his thing. He loves it. And
So relaxation for me is any time where I don't have to wear pants.
So where do you guys get the items that you list? Do you ever just liquidate an estate? Just come in and instead of doing a sale for them, just purchase an estate?
Very, very rarely. At the very end, like I said, we have a guy that does a clean out. Oftentimes that's where I'll get my merchandise is I'll get it from the clean out guy. So at that point, it hasn't sold. 1,000 people have seen it for the weekend. I researched it. I priced it. I know what it is. If no one buys it, then at that point, I could buy it. But it's a strange thing because I'm paid a commission.
Right.
So I don't want to buy something from a client who's paying me a commission.
That makes sense.
Get paid a commission on it. So if there's something I want, I'll say, hey, I really like this item. Can I give you $20 for it? And they're like, heck yeah. Or when it's time for the clean out guy to come, I'll say, hey, these items here, can I buy them from you? And he'll say, sure. So.
But we definitely don't buy beforehand.
Ever.
We definitely, we don't want to be those people that people think we're skimming off the top.
Right.
Okay.
We never do.
So Nadine has an admission.
Oh,
she wants
this
to
is
tell you
embarrassing.
guys. So
This is really.
let me actually pop her on the screen. And
Oh no!
First, Nadine,
I'm so embarrassed.
hang on. Tell us your age, Nadine.
I don't want to tell you my age. For
Tell us-
now, you're gonna double embarrass me.
Yes.
No.
Nadine is 40.
Ah.
Okay, go ahead with your admission. Go ahead with your admission. Go ahead.
Okay, so so I have never been to an estate sale.
What? How can you be a thrifter and you've never been to an estate sale?
Because I'm a great thrifter. I love thrift stores. I love, consignment shops. I love garage sales, all that. But I've always been like, they're always advertised on Craigslist. And they're always a little scary. And I'm always afraid because I don't have like a partner or anyone to go with. Now I do because I have my friend Lola, who's my thrifting buddy. So we're gonna do an estate sale. Lola, if you're watching right now, we're doing an estate sale. So but I've always been afraid because they've always been kind of sketchy and advertised on Craigslist. And I've been like, I live in a big city here, and I've been like, I don't know, I'm kind of afraid to go by myself. So I've never gone to one. So
By the way, John and Amanda, she goes to the sketchiest Goodwill you'll ever see in your life. The glass
I will too.
doesn't have glass, yet they still put expensive things in there.
Because the glass is broken, and they don't fix it because they know it's going to get broken again. Yeah. So So
Nadine, I recommend.
So Lola says we're going, and I do have to ask for people like me, what are your tips for those first time estate sale people? I'm so embarrassed now. I'm so embarrassed. Oh my gosh.
Look on estatesales.net and find one that's listed in your area, and then go. Like if they open at 8, go at that point because there'll be 100 people there. Or I don't know about your area, or maybe there'll be 20 people there. But maybe do you not go because you don't feel safe, or?
Yeah, I'm kind of like afraid. Like I said, I don't know where to look for them, and the ones I find, or I'll advertise on Craigslist, and they're like early in the morning at some like undisclosed house, and I'm just like I'm by myself, and I'm just like I don't know. I'm just so afraid to go. It's just
So at our sales, if the sale starts at 8, at 7 a.m. we put a list out, and people sign their name on the list, and then they're let in the house in the order in which they're on the list.
Okay.
So if you're at 7 and you're number 5, come back at 8, and when your name's called, you go in. So it won't feel as sketchy because there'll be a bunch of people there, and it also won't feel sketchy because there should be a crowd. If there's not a crowd, then maybe it is sketchy.
Okay. Just a run if there's not a crowd.
If you show up at day 1 of the estate sale and you're the only one in line, leave.
Okay.
And then some of them, they do numbers, like a number system. So you'll go up and get a number. So it's the same premise. They're only going to let certain people in at a time.
Okay.
Some of the companies that aren't so great will just open the door and say, there you go, have at it. Those, yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't think that's very popular, but I mean, once you're in, the premise of an estate sale is everything in the home should have a price tag on it.
Okay.
We have, pricing guns. So everything to the $1 ruler, every piece of glass, nothing in our sales is less than $1. If it's worth less than $1, we put it in a Ziploc bag and we mark the bag $4 or $5.
With a bunch of other stuff.
With a bunch of other stuff. So the first time you go, if you're intimidated by the process, just go and look around. You might not leave with anything.
And there are some companies that don't price everything. I think the buyer comes out better in that instance because they're quoting prices on the fly.
So what do you do in that instance? You're just like, hey, can you just make an offer? Is that how that goes?
You can. I mean, it happens that we miss an item. It's usually something that we're like, hey, we need to look that up, and then we get busy and we don't. And then when somebody brings it up, we're like, oh man, I should have looked that up. But mostly everything in our sales is priced. If you come up to a sale that not everything's priced, just whatever you're comfortable paying, say, hey, will you take X for this? And they'll say yes or no.
Or make a pile.
I just remembered a estate sale I went to in Vegas, different company, that nothing was priced. So when you'd bring up, like, say, tools from the garage, she would then say, hang on, I got to call my tool guy and get prices on this stuff.
Wow.
I brought up records, and she said, let me call my record guy. I'm like, screw it. I just dropped it and walked. I'm like, this is how you run an estate sale?
Yeah, see, at our sales, it's not uncommon for the first hour for there to be 25 people. And we have 2 cash registers going with our software systems running. There's really not time to call, phone a friend.
Every transaction.
No, I mean, we just go.
So, talking to you guys, I can definitely tell you love what you do and you're passionate about and well. And even Lori Rickson in the chat says, Nadine, I went to my first one a month ago and it was scary, so dirty. And even though I've told horror stories about Vegas ones, I was telling you guys before that we went to air, when we were filming Thrift Owners, we did one in Atlanta and one in Portland, that they were so good and so nice, and their employees were so nice, and it was set up so well that I hugged them at the end of filming. I'm like, can you go to Vegas and run estate sales? Because it was such a nice treat to go from the assholes of Vegas to nice people with scruples and morals.
You put things so eloquently, Jason.
Well, but that's how I feel, because they set it up, priced it well. The employees who worked the garage were super nice and helpful, and that just doesn't happen here. And I'm like, oh, other parts of the country have nice estate sales? Because I'm just so used to being annoyed.
I wonder what kind of estate sales we have. Well, Lola and I are going, so
all right,
it's going to change. So
we went to New Orleans in September. So we decided, we drove down and we would stop at a few sales along the way going and along the way coming back. So we stopped at a couple in Atlanta going, and then we went to a couple in New Orleans, and then we stopped at a couple in Atlanta on the way back. On the way back, in that part of the trip, the second sale we went to there was the first time anyone had greeted us at all. Like, even acknowledged that we were in the house. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
We train our staff to greet everybody. Hey, how are you? We have runners. So if somebody has a bunch of bags, we'll get them help to their car. We have boxes. We bring that U-Haul wrapping paper for people to wrap their glass up. We have bags on a bag rack. There's a staff member. If it's a 3-story house, there's one person. We run the zone estate sale.
We have the zone defense.
Yeah, we have the zone defense. So, there's somebody on the top floor, somebody on the middle floor, somebody on the basement. We have hold tables. We have baskets with our logo on it for people to carry stuff around. And
oh, wow. So
it's just, we want them to
we want to make it easy, and not scary.
And clean. Everything's got to be clean. And we, there's inevitably in a basement there'll be rat poop. We clean it, we vacuum, we try to make it look nice. I can't expect you to pay $12, for a glass if it's, you know, if it's dirty
And the price tag won't stick to it.
and the price tag won't stick to it, and it's got so
All right,
you know, that's important.
Awesome. I want to thank you for coming on. Here's the deal. When you find the estate sale coming up that you know is going to have stuff I like tiki or booze. Oh, hey, real quick. What's the rules on selling booze? Because I buy a lot of booze, but they price it cheap because they tell me they can't normally sell it.
Yeah, see, that's a state law. So in North Carolina, you can't sell booze.
You can't hear either, but they don't seem to care. That's what I like, the assholes.
North Carolina, we'll call you.
Oh, Jason.
We have a guy, Jim, who we call and say, "Hey, Jim, there's some booze in this house. Come get it."
And his wife's like, "Please don't call him anymore."
Hey, can you call a guy named Jason when you find rum, please?
Yes, no problem. Rum and tiki mugs.
So give yourself one last plug where you're located. I'm gonna throw your artwork back up here, so go ahead.
Okay, we're GC5 Estate Services. We're out of Raleigh, North Carolina. You can find us on Facebook, GC5 Estate Services, or our website, gc5estateservices.com. We run sales, like I said, just about every week. We don't travel too far out of the Raleigh area. We stay pretty busy, and if you're in this area, come to one of our sales. We'd love to see you.
Cool. And I'm going to come. We're going to talk. I'm going to come. All right. Thank you very much for being on the show. Thank you, everyone who tuned in live. We had a great large audience tonight.
Yeah.
As always, thank you to those who show up afterwards, who can't watch live. And Secret Beach members, we are switching over to your special episode where they're going to teach you guys the secrets to being a shopper like me and you and Nate and everybody else at these sales. So hop on over to that link for you guys. And next week we'll be back on Thursday. Oh, hey, real quick. Those of you who are fans of Carrie's Cash and Carrie, she's actually going to be on our show coming up very soon. So you guys will be very excited. So stay tuned for that. I talked to her about that today.
We'll be on next Thursday, our regular time.
Back to next Thursday. So Secret Beach members, we'll see you in 2 minutes. Everyone else, we'll see you next Thursday. Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.